right, welcome to the next episode of The Long Dark. We're in the we're in the dam, and it's time to go downstairs and see what we can find. And is that a ruined one that I left behind? Have I have not checked over here yet. More tools that I don't need.
Wonder if the owner's around.
Now, I've been thinking a lot about, what you would be looking for if you're in a kind of situation like this. At least until you're sure that there's actually issues with all electrical devices, because of the aurora. I'm thinking that one of the things you would be looking at is electricals. A lot of times, it's like, the computer's on. Yeah, well, the power's out. So you can't really tell, is that an issue or not? If you start finding things like batteries that aren't working, actually that is an interesting point. Woohoo, Fire Striker.
Can't have too much water.
Back to it. One thing that's interesting is that flashlight, that old, not new flashlight, doesn't work. Which, even if there was a huge electromagnetic burst, would still work. Batteries themselves won't go out when, there's some kind of electromagnetic pulse or anything like that, because they are storing electricity as a chemical reaction. So they won't, end up shorting out or anything. Now, maybe some modern flashlights will die out because they've got more advanced electronics because they have flash modes or other things. But, an old-fashioned, C or D cell battery isn't going to go out. And if you have, an old-fashioned mag light, that is not going to stop. Just because you, and it doesn't look like anything's up here. And we'll keep searching. But yeah, most of the time you wouldn't expect a battery to actually go bad other than, finally running out of electricity. But, maybe every time you find one of them, they're actually just plain out because people started using them right away. But you'd think that sooner or later you'd find one that, still had some kind of a charge on it. If for no other reason people were like, we're getting out of here, we don't really care about one extra flashlight.
This stuff will come in handy.
But again, when you're doing a search like this, you'd be looking for extra clothes. Now, what you don't see happening in here is you getting to the point where you need to change clothes, because you would. Coming through here, I'd expect they'd take off some layers, maybe swap, especially your underlayers. I wouldn't want just one or two pairs of underwear. I'd want 4 or 5. You want the same for socks. Just okay. I've been walking around for a couple of days. I'm changing, at least the underlayers. The farther out you go, the less you have to worry about swapping out every single day. So if you have long underwear on and you don't change your pants for a few days, but you change your long underwear, you're okay. If you don't change anything out, I'll go sort through everything when I get back. fishing tackle, pork and beans. That's pretty good. Now, in a situation like this, you might want to, to encumber decline. You might want to carry, a second axe, a second knife, and it's really just because of the way the game is that you don't. And actually, I'll check that once I stop walking around. But carrying backups is a lot more common in real life than in games, simply because you have kind of a okay, well I have a braking percentage, but your braking percentage really goes down fast, especially with like the knives and stuff. I mean, there should be two different stats. There should be a sharpness and a breakage. Sharpness, that'll go down faster. At the same time, sharpness is a lot easier to recover than what it looks like in here. The antiseptic.
That'll come in handy.
Just in case. Having a second one couldn't be bad. That is a toaster oven. That is not a microwave. I've never seen a microwave that opens up by opening the front down. But, still useful. And while not having... No, don't want to do that. Now, walking through a place like this is interesting because you're looking at a lot of things that you don't necessarily... And a hunting knife. Definitely time to sort through to see which one's better. But yeah, hunting through something like a construction site for gear, sometimes you have to think, what would some of this stuff be used for? Honestly, some of that leftover pipe, if you were building a shelter somewhere, would be incredibly useful. Now, if you had a forge that was closer, that pipe would make excellent raw stock. All you need is one hacksaw, which you have, some cured leather, and some heat and time, and you could make a whole lot of different things out of that pipe. Granted, you're probably going to be tired, and it's probably not going to be a very good design unless you've already done blacksmithing. But you'd start learning pretty quickly, especially if you're the only one who's working on it. But yeah, walking through here, honestly, you should have an absolute ton of water that you can access, because this is a hydroelectric dam, and the water flow in a hydroelectric dam mostly comes from gravity. You go near the bottom of it, you find a pipe, and you can have fresh flowing water. Now, given that it's coming straight from the lake, you probably would still have to treat it in some way, but you would have, very big supply of it.
I could use this.
Combat pants. Now, they call them combat pants. Obviously, they're talking about fatigue pants. And some more work pants. Well, we'll figure out which ones are better.
All this
Bring
gear
forth
is slowing me
bullets.
down.
What else we got in? Let's eat a few things. Yeah. And it's just one other thing that I think a lot of people don't really kind of, well, I'm sure some of them will get it as soon as it's told to them. But if you're trying to cut weight as a, when you're hiking,
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
put that out for a second. That's almost gone. I still have plenty of. And this is the one that's used actions. Refuel. Actually, we'll use up the fuel in this first. Since I can't take it out. That is, honestly, I mean, if I was taking it apart, I could easily take the fuel out of it. All you need is one little knife and a hole, and pop, you can drain the thing. A cooking pot. I don't think I had one of those yet. Alright, time to get out of here as soon as I check this cat. Now, what would you be looking for in, say, a filing cabinet? Well, paper for one, something you'd use to start a fire. But a lot of people drop extra stuff into into one of those. What I'd probably be looking for is somebody's lighter, maybe a snack that they hid because they didn't want anybody
Not sure
going
why I
through
feel
their
so tired.
going through their desk and taking their sweets. There are a few other things, but those would be the two biggest things I'd be looking for. Something, you know, something, you know, to eat, something to help, you know, light something. People will hide their cigarettes in there if, you know, you're a smoker. Personally, I'm not, so the cigarettes themselves wouldn't be much of a draw, but the idea of finding somebody's lighter, that is a good one. Honestly, somebody's lighter would be great, even in this game. And, in all honesty, most lighters are pretty cheap. They're not going to be affected by pretty much anything except for the new PCO electric ones. But, you know, your standard Bic or anything else, I mean, it's simple butane held under pressure and a ferrocerium striking surface. Oh, it's nice. It's nighttime. Now, I got something to cook. What do I gotta cook? I gotta go through my stuff, I guess. Now, right now, I gotta get to where I can make a fire. drop some stuff and sort through it. I'm also getting tired, so that's also something I need to take care of. Now, I gotta hand it for whoever's the sound designer. All that kind of creaky sounding stuff that you get when you're going through here, that is, in fact, really super creepy. And it makes me wonder, is something wrong with the dam? Do I need to be worried? Almost there. Yeah, I probably overloaded myself doing that, but if you were doing if you're going through someplace like this, you probably end up kind of taking a bunch of extra junk, at least under the short term. We'll start this up. Wait. And that was birch bark that I started it with, which I didn't want to use. Birch bark is, in fact, a good way to start a fire. Birch bark is also, at least in the game, a good way to heal yourself. Oh, that's right, I have venison. There we go. Put down the bedroll. Put back down the venison. Eat that. That's 40 minutes. Okay, now we're going to go through our stuff here. We're going to harvest that. Harvest that. I want to take a look at the clothing real quick. So, oh, those are nice and new. Let's find out. Yeah, they're lighter. Everything except for wind protection. They are more waterproof. You know what? I'll put them on the inner layer. Now I've got 2 pairs of pants I can take apart. Let's see, we've got a hoodie. No. Shell. Nope. Boots. Nope. 19 minutes till ready. Actually, let's take apart the worn work patterns first. 30 minutes. Oh, lovely. You've got one of those tonight. You've got an Aurora. I'm not going to deal with that tonight. So, drink some water. got 23 minutes left. Not going to need that storm lantern. Do I have any tea? Do I have any tea made? I do not have any tea made. I'm going to make me... Oh, I have a bunch of recycled cans, too. Cook. We'll make ourselves some herbal tea. Go into here. Yeah, I don't need this many. I really don't need that many. Let's see, 80, 74, 80. So we'll drop this. We'll drop this for the moment. Actually, no. The hunting knife and the hatchet we'll take upstairs with us. We'll put in the locker near the front. Because that would be a good place to put it. Get some sleep. Oh, good. We've got enough light to work by. I'm going to need to... I'll pick up the reclaimed wood. Don't need the recycled can. I'll pick that up to take upstairs.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Yeah, still overloaded. Get upstairs. Take the excess stuff. Either break it down or put it in the locker, and then we'll be good to go. Now, I'm going to go back to something. When I set up, okay, what would we do? Well, we're going to try to get to the airfield because, hey, it's Mackenzie. Mackenzie's a pilot. That's where he's going to go. I know some people are going to say, well, why didn't you go through the Bleak Inlet to get there? Well, because he would know of man-made ways to get there. Having a tunnel, which you don't know anything about, isn't exactly gonna tell you, oh well, that's the best way for me to get there. But having a having a railroad track to follow, that, yeah, you would. Put that in there. Oh man, that's heavy. What do I got that's weighing me down so much? Probably my food and some extra clothes. Honestly, I have cloth and everything else. I can throw a bunch of stuff in here just in case. Now, caching equipment is probably one of those things that most people don't think about, but if you're in some kind of situation like this, yeah, you probably are. You're just gonna have more stuff than you can carry if you're decently good at going through this stuff. And I don't need this many stems. I don't need all that antiseptic. And then I have material. I only have one piece of birch bark. I have cattails. I have 2 fire strikers. I don't need all these cardboard matches. I want to read that book at some point in time. Probably don't need this much accelerant. That's a bit better. That weighs almost nothing. That's pretty light. Most of this stuff is still pretty light there. Clothing. All my excess clothing is put away. Bunch of food. Let's see. No Pinnacle Peaches. Pinnacle Peaches are one of those things that they'd be really good for a lot of reasons, but at the same time, not the best because of their weight. Now, having to eat canned food, you're going to have to deal with the weight. But certain things weigh more. Things like canned fruit that's already moist and then packed basically in syrup, which is heavier than water, those cans get heavy fast. That being said, you get a lot of calories out of that, especially when it's packed in syrup. So there's kind of a trade-off there. Okay, now I'm pretty good on the weight. I'm full. This gun is still needs cleaning. I still don't have anything to clean it with. I have a bunch of revolver ammunition, which I can't use yet. I will, however, put a round in the rifle because, hey, if I have less than 10 rounds, it's all going to be in that rifle. That rifle's not going to do me any good unloaded. And, with a bolt action and an internal magazine like that, keeping it topped up is actually pretty simple. Once you start dealing with, like, your modern first-person shooters where you've got, a 30-round magazine, but every time somebody goes through more than 10 rounds, they do a switch because, I need to keep it topped up. Yeah, that's actually not very good unless you're in a really short, really high okay. Well, just using a firearm near them should drive them off, so hey, it works. Prop deer, I'm not too bad off for food right now, so I'm going to stay away from the prop deers. So first things first, we're going to check out the logging camp. Again, following the tracks, following the roads. That is a stranded car. That is not a good sign. At least you know that nobody's been up this track in a while because they'd have cleared that. They'd have either pushed it off of the tracks entirely, or they'd have brought up a train with a front mount, hooked it up to it, and just pushed it to somewhere off the main line so that other people can get around it. Something sitting right there tells me that, hey, nobody's been down this line for a while. With all of the stumps here, you can go, logging camp somewhere around here. And honestly, a logging camp will have a lot of things you want. First off, in this case, they're going to have clothing. They're going to have stuff that's actually really durable and pretty warm. You're probably going to find an axe, which is something you really want in this kind of situation. And now I can see the house through the lines. So when you're looking for something, like when you're out walking around like this, there's a lot of things you would be looking for, but the most useful thing to look for are regular structures, things that are square or rectangular or triangular, things with very straight lines that are like that. Now your horizon's a straight line because it's so far off, but other than the vertical lines that are a tree, you don't see a lot of horizontal lines that are perfect. Close to perfect horizontal lines are things you look for. Things that are a color that isn't normal for the area as well. And honestly, that's how you look for people too.
Could end up being useful.
I saw one guy do a thing about how camouflage works, and it's amazing what he ended up doing. Well, simply wearing a pair of dark pants and a long sleeve shirt. Another pair of work pants.
That'll come in handy.
They're kind of beat up. You know what? I'll get those and I'll break them down. Now, these little prefabs are interesting because they're up here. Another hatchet. Well, I'll take that inside and drop it off. Candy bar. Tomato soup. Pinnacle peaches. Hoodie. More tea. I've got plenty of tea right now. Oh, hominy, yes. Can now take care of that. Can now take care of that rifle. Make it be.
Wonder if this is
not
any
so
good to
prone
eat.
Not so prone to failure. Flashlight. Now, in real life, I'd see that flashlight. I'd pick it up. I'd try it out. I'd see if it worked. If not, I'd take out the batteries and look for some other ones. If I couldn't find anything to make it work, I'd take out the batteries and bring just the flashlight with me, depending upon how big it is. But, you know, something like a big old mag light, honestly, you can do worse with one of those, but at the same time, they're heavy. Sometimes you don't want to deal with that much weight. Most of the flashlights that I put in survival and camping packs are much smaller. A ski jacket. That is worth comparing.
This stuff will come in handy.
Ski jacket, ski jacket. I'm gonna have to use the fishing tackle. Another reason why not to do too much repair work right now. Okay, so now we've got a new ski jacket. Now, with a ski jacket, never mind. You know what? I will drop the work pants. And there, I have more clothes that I can come back for at a different point. I should probably make good use of general notes. Let's see. Logging camp. And axe. Now, a lot of people always think you should bring along some kind of notebook, something similar. Honestly, it's a good idea. Having the ability to take notes on what you're doing is a good thing. Now that you drop that and you drop the clothing, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time. Let's see. How long does it take to clean? 12 minutes. Wow. In all honesty, 12 minutes of cleaning, depending on how you're cleaning, that might be a little long. It might be a little short, depending if you're doing a thorough job or not. But in general, 30 minutes, unless you're dealing with something really complex, is probably enough to do a full cleaning. spending an hour or two doing the cleaning is probably a bit beyond what you really would need to do. But now that I've gone through and cleaned that up some, probably giving me more gunsmithing experience. Check that. Do you actually get gunsmithing experience when you skill? Nope. Cleaning does not help you out at all. Rifle firearm, I haven't hit anything yet, so I haven't gotten any base extra skill in that. I haven't done any. Oh, that's true. I haven't really hunted much. Haven't done much in the way of much of anything except for mending, fire starting, finding stuff. Anyway, that's been about a half an hour. I'm gonna just go outside, come back in real quick, make sure that I save everything, and I will see you later. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.